college football playoff predictions. The quarterfinal round of the college football playoff is right around the corner. We now have 4 tremendous games. We've got some wide lines, and we're going to deliver a pick for every single game. Starting off with Georgia versus Ole Miss. This Georgia squad, extremely hot. Ole Miss is trying to be able to build themselves up after losing Lane Kiffin. Your favorite bet for this game?
I see no point in going and doing the back and forth table tennis battle of will Ole Miss show up, will Ole Miss not show up. It doesn't matter if Ole Miss shows up. Georgia rolls through this one. Georgia giving 6.5, a touchdown win versus Ole Miss. Thank you. All the distractions going on at Ole Miss versus none at Georgia. Thank you. Georgia is hot. Georgia is stronger than Ole Miss. Even if Ole Miss still had Kiffin, I would support this line. Even if Ole Miss still had everybody, I'd support this line. Georgia is a better team. They're a stronger team. They've had more success in the playoffs recently. They know how to win. It's everything that you need from a college team in the CFP is a team that's been there and knows knows how to handle themselves in that state. Georgia is that team. Georgia given 6.5. I love it. It's mouthwatering, actually. Only a touchdown versus Ole Miss. Thank you.
That was got awfully descriptive. There.
You're not salivating at this line?
No.
You don't love it enough
over this. But I do really like Georgia 6.5. Here's my biggest thing. Forget the whole Lane Kiffin leaving dynamic and Pete Golding taking over. They looked somewhat fine against Tulane. No major differences in how they were able to hold off Tulane, but a little clunkiness to the way that they performed. My biggest part has everything to do with Georgia. Ole Miss is 132nd in EPA per rush allowed. This Georgia team ran for 212 the last time that they played. They could not stop the Georgia rushing attack. Most importantly, the last time that these teams played, it was in the middle of the Georgia pass rush woes where they couldn't figure out how to get after the quarterback. They were literally not producing sacks. They had 0 the last time that they faced off against Ole Miss. I think that that's going to be different. I'm not saying that they have the same pressure production like they had against Ty Simpson in the SEC championship game. But I think what we will witness is that Georgia is going to at least get 1 to 2 sacks and some pressures on Trinidad Chambliss. He hasn't been pressured very much because they've been able to protect him effectively. With all those things in mind, I think Georgia winning by more than a touchdown is absolutely on the table and is going to end up coming to fruition. Miami versus Ohio State. We got Miami with the unexpected victory on the road against Texas A&M. Their defensive line produced 7 sacks. Don't tell Ryan Roberts that. Ohio State on the other side. Oh, I realized nobody knows who that is on this show.
Oh, no, that's even a dig at RR there.
Yeah, because we're just taking a shot at him. He's not even going to know that we're doing it. Ohio State, though, is trying to bounce back from their loss in the Big Ten championship game. Sean, what line do you like the most here? I'm sure I didn't read what you put down, which I'm glad I didn't.
You should have, because this is the winning line. That's Ohio State giving 9.5 points versus Miami. Miami, I guess, got a bit of a tune-up game against Texas A&M. They didn't really look that tuned up, though. They had 10 points. Nice. Good work. 10 points. That's solid. Ohio State's going to score more than 10 points against Miami. Carson Beck, I'm ready for the piss down the leg game. That's what I'm looking for. I'm ready for him to look at the lights and there's a light. There's a light. Boy, are they bright. Can I play under these? Probably not. Honestly, history tells me Carson Beck is the quarterback that cannot perform when the real pressure is on. First round of the CFP, who cares? They didn't even expect you to really be there. You snuck into the CFP, congrats. And then you win a game that's like, oh, wow, we won one. Are we going to go on a run? No, you're playing Ohio State. They're a better team with an insane defense. You think it's going to be Ohio State defense smoking that dude all day. Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs in his pocket, in his face mask. He's going to have nowhere to move, no room to breathe. He gets smoked, probably throws 2 picks. Ohio State wins by probably 17 points.
Okay, so I agree with the notion that Carson Beck was not great against Texas A&M, but he was playing up against a good defense that had a really, really bad run defense that you just straight up could not stop Fletcher whatsoever. And it was a problem that they were having during most of the year that finally caught up to them. First showed the issues, real major issues with that against Texas. At the same time, I think that they showed that they're capable of finding success even if Beck doesn't have to, do everything. My pick for this game, I like Miami plus 9.5. And the reason why I like Miami is that we watched in the Big Ten championship game. I'm not asking for Miami to win. I don't think that Miami wins this game. But I think that we witnessed in the Big Ten championship game, you saw an Indiana front seven produce 5 sacks against Julian Sayin. For some reason, Ohio State said, you know what? We're going to get away from running the football, even though Bo Jackson's averaging 4.9 yards per carry. We're going to take a step back. We're going to try and do everything possible to win this thing through the air. And they failed at that because Sayin got completely smothered in the pocket. 7 sacks were just on TV this past Saturday with Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor getting all over Marcel Reed.
Oh, a bunch of third and fourth rounders?
What do you mean, bunch of third and fourth rounders?
I don't know. I keep on getting told Ruben Bain isn't a first rounder.
Oh, okay. But regardless, that was against a really good offensive line, an offensive line that's better than Ohio State's. And Marcel Reed is more mobile than Julian Sayin is. I think that they're going to at least produce 4 sacks in this game, at least 3, and that's good for making this game close. I think it's going to be a touchdown game at the very minimum, and it's going to come down to a big play, maybe a clutch play from Sayin, but it's going to be hard to win through the pressure.
I guess. I think that Miami is all pressure. Ohio State, been there before. Just won a national championship. I don't think they're worried about the second round very much.
Why are you downplaying this?
What do you mean? Why am I downplaying this? Because I don't believe in Miami.
They're not worried about the second round very much.
I saw the teams that Miami was battling with to get in the CFP, and they put that stinker out last week.
I don't understand why you think it was a stinker. Teams can win through defense. They produced 7 sacks. How are you going to sit here and talk about this? How are you going to completely disregard that?
Because they put up 10 points. You need to put up more than 10 points in the playoffs.
We're not asking them to win. We're asking them to cover 10 points. They lost by 3.
Ohio State's way better than Texas A&M is.
Yeah.
And Ohio State's defense is better than Texas A&M's. They're probably going to win by 14.
No.
Yeah, no, come on.
No. Wait, here's where I think that you're off, though. Texas A&M had one of the most explosive offenses in the country. They had one of the best receiving duos in the country. They took Casey Concepcion out of the game.
Here's what I refuse to do. I refuse to make myself look like a jerk watching this game like, oh, look at Ohio State. Who would have thought? Who would have thought they're running away with it? I can't do that to myself. I won't be on the couch
I think the
sitting here like,
oh,
I wish I took Ohio State. You know what that feels like? That feels like a spear in your side, a dagger in your neck, and both your knees are getting chopped off. Like, I kind of deserve this.
I think that the opposite is going to apply here. I think that it's going to be the circumstance where you're sitting there and you're going, why the heck didn't I think? It's going to be a Ruben Bain sack and then another Ruben Bain sack and then another Mesidor sack. And you're going to be sitting there going, why did I think that this large number, this 9.5 number, was going to be something that would be covered?
I refuse to be on the other side of the coin when it comes to Ohio State. I refuse. And I was on the other side of the coin last week with Alabama. Not doing that.
Oregon versus Texas Tech. This game is very interesting. Tight line. Oregon's favored at -1.5. Where do you sit?
I fell in love with this Texas Tech team. I really did over this year. I fell in love with this squad.
Don't claim them, by the way. I fell in love with them first.
I was way ahead of you on the Texas Tech bandwagon. Mm-hmm. I was on it. Nope. I was literally in the conductor's cabin. I saw you on the side of the road. I said,
"Sure,
come on in, buddy. We've already been a couple blocks, but you can hop on." I'm not saying you were late. I'm just saying I fell in love with this team. I am picking Texas Tech to cover +1.5, which basically means they're going to win over Oregon. Crazy. Dante Moore, really good quarterback. Oregon's got really, really good pieces that we saw, but I didn't like how they closed last week. I didn't like how they also didn't cover last week. They burned me bad because they messed around versus JMU. Maybe they were afforded to be able to mess around versus JMU because they could have put up 70. I think also Texas Tech could have put up 70. I also like Texas Tech's defense more than Oregon's. They hit you. They will force turnovers. That's what I love about college defenses. If your college defense is, we're bend, don't break, congrats. You're still going to get scored on. College defenses with heavy hitters that punch the ball out or pick off bad quarterbacks, that's what I'm in on. Texas Tech does that. They get the ball back to the offense. They create extra possessions for their team. I like Texas Tech in this one.
Well, here's the one thing, the reason why, and my pick is unrelated to the outcome or the winner of the game. I think that you're foregoing an important aspect of this, though, what you just said, though. They force turnovers and set up their offense to score points. The problem is their offense doesn't finish off drives when they need to. They did it twice against BYU. I lean Oregon to win this, but that's not what I'm delivering. My pick for this, I like on 52.5 points. We watched, and I don't mind it.
Actually,
I don't want to use the JMU game as evidence. because there's really no evidence to be pulled from that. I almost fell for the trap. I'm not going to do it. I think that both of these offenses capably can produce some really, really big plays. I also think it seems like there's a shot that we get some sort of balance of DK Moore and Evan Stewart back. Maybe one guy's more ready to go than the other. Maybe both of them are ready to go. That is huge for the Oregon offense. There is a chance here where this game ends up having a lot of impactful defensive plays that impact the outcome. But I really think that both of these offenses are going to get into a little bit of a punch off here. For both these teams to score over 25 points is extremely capable.
I think so. When are we going to do our punch off? Is that as soon as the mics are closed?
Yeah, that's if you've got time before you got to run to the airport. Last game, Indiana versus Alabama. Where do you stand?
Under show.
I can't believe why are you
under
fading me on this?
I know. I actually I saw you taking the over. I'm like, what am I missing here? I'm sure you're gonna yell at me and tell me what I'm missing here. That's
kind of the point of the show, is it not?
Purely drawing from Indiana scoring a low amount of points versus Ohio State, which not bad. You won, whatever. And Alabama, I don't believe in that offense very much. The defense, pretty solid. Linebackers fly around, stop drives on third down. Good stuff from them. Indiana going up against a real deal SEC opponent. I'm not going to do my bit where I'm Mr. Anti-SEC and disrespectful to the SEC because they're annoying right now, because this is the playoffs. This is the CFP. This is Alabama in the postseason. They show up in the postseason. They play harder in the postseason. They've somehow afforded themselves the capability to flip the switch and start playing with real effort once the regular season is done for. So I'm not going to snub that. But the offense has problems. They don't have a legitimate running back one that can make a difference in the CFP. Their wide receiver room is hectic. Drops everywhere, killing drives. Where's the Alabama tight end? Don't even know his name. Under.
Josh Cuevas.
Who?
Josh Cuevas.
It could have been Joe DeLeone. His name could have been Joe DeLeone too, and I wouldn't have known.
You're disregarding him. Dude,
I am.
We saw, which is dumb because he's a great football player, former Cal Poly tight end. Here's the thing. Even with their offensive problems, they prevailed against Oklahoma, and the way that they were able to prevail, they had a ton of huge big plays against Oklahoma. One of the best defenses in the country. They put up a shitload of points against Oklahoma in the last game that they had. And I think that Oklahoma's defense is better than Indiana's, not by a large margin. I think both are really, really good. Oklahoma could not keep up. I think that Indiana's offense has proven that they are a team that can go shot for shot and can put up points when they need to. We're talking about a line that is under 50.
Yeah.
So the only way that this comes to fruition is if Alabama gets blown out. That's how I see this.
No, 24-20. That's how this closes.
I don't think this
Mendoza throws a couple picks, and then Ty Simpson has a fumble and a pick. I have faith in him, but I also have faith in Alabama defense, and I hate saying that. I hate saying that I'm believing in Alabama to really show up, but that means that their defense is going to show up and fluster the goofball with a rocket arm in Indiana.
By the way, I forgot to update the standings. 10-10. I went 2-2 last week. Sean went 1-3. He is 9-11. So he's just behind me on overall record. All right. Sean, a reminder to our listeners, by the way, to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And a lot of people hop in and follow and sub to the channel after our quick post-game reactions that we did in the NFL and college football. We're going to be doing more of that during the postseason coming up. Going to be a lot more content coming out on this channel.